Hello everyone and welcome to day 4. It's a nice sunny day today when I'm filming, so hopefully this energy is going to kind of radiate through you through the day today. Throughout these yoga classes so far, we've looked at the idea of grounding, of balance, agility, and now we've got this idea of touch that we're going to bring in, this connection that we get with touch. And this can be something that is missing. It can be something that we notice maybe when we're not interacting with people the same, being able to hug them, hold hands. There's a whole wide range. And we're going to look at touch in 2 parts. We're going to look at touch to others and this connection to the outside world, but then touch with ourselves as well, and making sure that we're checking in with ourselves. And this is something that often gets overlooked, and we often look at that touch in response to somebody else. So this is a perfect opportunity to start bringing that touch to us, to give in caring through some of the different love languages. Touch is one of them, but how often do we use touch on ourselves in forms of massage or reflexology, baths, lotions, anything that kind of can give us some form of pleasure or care. So in today's session we're going to be looking at touch and care to ourselves. So we're going to start by getting into our space again, whether this is our mat, our floor, or whatever is beneath us. And we're going to start with this bounce again. We're in our hands, we're charging the space, this energy. Our feet and our knees are facing forward, and we're relaxing into the ground beneath us. As we're doing this, we're going to be consciously aware of all areas of our feet and the contact that it has with the ground beneath us. We're feeling that touch that we have every single day. And I really recommend being ground-foot, barefooted with this so you can feel the ground beneath you. You may want to bring this into a little swing. Do whatever feels right or normal for you right now. And if you remember those swings that we did when we lifted up and down, making sure we're coming up to shoulder height, this is what we're going into. Try and time it up with your breath, with an inhale coming up, exhale coming down. With an inhale one side and an exhale the other. Have a play and see what fits right in your body today. And last time we did this, we were thinking about stretching out the fingers as we're touching. But this time we're going to be closing and opening them to fists and to stars. And feeling the connection that we have when we're holding our own hand again. Feeling the contrast between being open and wide, the outside world, and being closed into ourselves. Play with speed a little bit. And the next one, you're going to follow through. So as I'm bending and I'm swinging, the back arm is going forward and the front arm is going backwards. Swing, swing, swap. Swing, swing, swap. One side might feel a little bit more natural. And often it's when we don't think about it that we get into the swing of it. So I'm going one side, two side, swing, around. One side, two side, swing, around. And I'm completing my swing in the direction that I face. So I'm facing left, right, swing, face left, right, left, swing, face right. Do 2 more of these. And we're really warming up the shoulders, this area that we were looking at with our heart and opening up yesterday. Coming back into a bounce. Slowly lowering that speed. And then we're going to start lifting up our heels on one foot, then the other. Allowing our hips and our body to rest into that motion. We're just warming up the feet, a little bit of the back as we sway with it. Notice the difference that you can feel when your heels are lifted or when we're on the ground. Can you feel the air behind your heels? Can you feel the air compress as you're bringing your heels down? Come into a gentle standstill. We're going to start by going into the squat position again, this chair. But this time, instead of having our hands in front of us, we're going to be staying in contact with ourselves. We're going to be guiding ourselves down into this journey. So our hands are at our upper thigh. Imagining we're zipping in and we're keeping that belly button into our spine for the journey. And on an exhale, your hands are slowly coming down in time to yourself coming into this chair position, making sure and touching as well that we're staying engaged. The neck is staying long and I'm looking at the top of my mat. Spending a few breaths here, working on bringing those shoulders down, feeling the contact that your hands are having with your legs. You may want to play around, lifting one hand up and the other, maybe both hands or maybe none, seeing if this feels any different. Can you notice, a lack of presence when you remove your hand? Exhale, you're coming back up, gliding back up again. We're going to do that again. Breathing in, exhale, coming down. Make a conscious choice to breathe. There's a saying that I'm going to have to paraphrase, but it's saying that yoga is all about the breath. That you can do the poses and you can be as agile, as flexible, as strong as you want to be. But your real strength is in the breath, because every single day the pose is completely different and your breath is giving that awareness to your whole body. Breathing out, coming up. So allow that breath to carry you. And this can be a bit of a harder thing to understand, but throughout practice it will come. There's no need to worry about that. Final one, breathing in. And your exhale, you're timing that exhale to help send your body down. Stroking the legs, feeling the length coming through the opening of the chest and the back. You don't want to be hunched over. You're really using this contact to send this energy up, to remind yourself to stay strong. Taking a few breaths here. Noticing if it feels different holding the back of your legs, the front of your legs. Where do you feel support when you hold the back? Where do you feel maybe some more weakness? And again at the front, what feels more natural and what feels more challenging? Maybe you can do one on either side. Breathing out, coming up again. Our next pose we're going to do in two parts. So it's really good for our balance. Again, to help with your balance, you can see a fixed point. You could hold on to your ears, or if you do need, you can come and hold on to something. So feeling our weight evenly grounded, the middle of our body, the middle of our feet, feeling that length coming out of the top of our head. We're going to shift the weight to that left foot, so our right foot can peel up onto the tiptoes. So then focus, we're bringing that leg up. If that's enough for you right now, you can hold behind the hamstrings again and balance there. Or you can take that knee up. The important thing here is that this leg is remaining straight. We're not wobbling or bending. We're lifting up actively. We're still zipping in. We're lifting up here. Do not let the ego take over and allow you to lift your body so you fall out of line or you're bending your leg. Stay here for a few breaths and play with the different ideas of touch, whether this is still behind your leg. Can you hook it? Can you come in front? Can you hold it in front? What feels right for you today, knowing that every day is different? What do you need? Do you need some more strength, or not aggression, but a more firm hold? Do you need gentle touch, gentle reminders? Exhale, coming down. You can either stay with that, or in the second one, when you bring your leg up, you're going to cross that leg across your body. So my right knee is now in front of my left hip. I'm going to take my left arm and put it underneath the hamstring and allow to lift. Or I can bring in front and lift. Again, remembering to keep this left leg supported and lengthening. So we're going to stay here for a few breaths, or in our first variation, Again, playing around with what feels more natural for us, whether we're using one hand, two hands, how increasing we want to have in this twist. Do we want to bring our other hand along with it, moving our body, or do we want to stay facing forward? Breathing out, coming back down. And we're going to do that one more time, noticing how, if you are doing the two variations, this may feel different in the body. Breathing in, lifting the leg up. Breathing out. Staying with your breath, keeping that tall length in the back of the neck. Keeping your gaze fixed on whatever you are wanting. Feeling the connection that you're having to your body and the way you are choosing to grip, whether it is tight or loose, whether it is one-handed or two-handed. Breathing out, bring that leg down. Finding that balance again and how we're standing, noticing if we feel any difference. And we do the same again. So from this midpoint, we're weighting between our feet and between our body. We're going to shift weight to our right foot so we can lift our left foot up into the toes. Everyone joining for the first variation, we're lifting the leg up. If you want to stay here, that's okay. Or if you want to increase, making sure that this stays lifted, our spine is long, our chin is slightly tucked into the neck, so we're not lifting up and we're not looking down, but we're looking straight ahead. Got clear gaze. Don't worry about whether your foot is pointed or flexed, just allow it to hang naturally. Again, playing around with grip if this suits you. It can be completely different on one leg to the other, so allow for that. Ensuring we're still breathing, we're noticing our breath. Often we can hold our breath when we're in a new situation, and that's okay. It's a habit that we can adjust, but staying mindful of that, knowing it is our strength, as every day is different. Breathing out, bringing that leg down, noticing how we're feeling. If we're doing the variation, we're going to go into that cross with the left leg in front of the right hip. If not, do not worry. Breathing in. Noticing if we're choosing the same variation as on the other leg, or if we're not. Knowing either or are completely okay, because you intuitively know what is best for your body. Staying with that breath, staying with that length. But no matter how our legs are moving right now, whether they're crossed or in front of us, we're keeping that length in the spine. We're strong, we're grounded in our feet. We're agile enough for these changes. Exhale, coming down. Notice where your body is right now, where you may be feeling any sensations. Take a few breaths. The heart rate sometimes increases during something you wouldn't expect, and that's completely okay. Final breath in. Lifting the body. Noticing what side you find easier to balance. You may need to adjust your grip a few times, that's completely okay. Making sure we're staying zipped in our stomach, not allowing ourselves to hinge backwards. Breathing out, coming down. Just swap the weight between the left and the right foot. So if we look penguin, waddling side to side. Feel how your feet are lifting up as you exchange this weight. How your body may move and brush against itself. Your hand is brushing against the side of your thigh. Notice that contact, how gentle or subtle it is, how you may have realised that it was happening, or may not at all until it was brought into your awareness. Allow this to expand or reduce depending on your need today. I'm going to come to the ground, however makes sense for us today. And we're going to start again in that staff position with our legs forward, our toes pointing up to the ceiling, our back up straight, and our hands by our hips if our arms allow, or slightly further forward. Take a few breaths here, finding that length and the contact that your body has with the floor. Whether the same weight is dispersed through your legs, your heels, your hands, or if they vary. You're finding it easier or harder to lengthen here today. Not judging yourselves, but knowing every day is different, and that is okay. From here, you're going to bend your right leg up, so your right palm of your foot is on the floor. Your left foot has the toes still pointing to the ceiling as is straight. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to allow that right arm to come in between our right knee. We're going to lean forward with a nice straight back, however feels comfortable. Not worrying or not playing with ego, whether we're here or completely flat. Knowing again, every day is different. Even if you can grab onto your feet, we're not going to. We're keeping that arm width apart, keeping that space. The contrast of our right arm against our right knee, our feet and our legs on the floor, and then our hands able to touch each other or the feet that are not. Being very consciously aware of the areas that are touching. And think if you do want to touch your hands or touch your feet. Without doing so, be aware if this is something that you are wanting. You're still keeping that length in the back and that connection to the back of the neck, so we're not hunching, we're not tucking, we're not lifting. With the exhale, we're coming back up. This time, we're bringing the right hand on the outside, and we're leaning forward again. Notice how this may feel different, whether it's restricting, whether it gives more access to movement. Do you feel any tension in your feet or in your body in this position? Are you more or less wanting to hold your hands or your feet? Exhale, coming back up. Now we're going to cross our right foot over our left. So the middle of my foot is in line with my knee. If you want to reduce this stretch, you can bring it further down, and if you're wanting to increase this stretch, you bring your foot further towards you. You're going to start by just hugging that leg in front of you, however feels comfortable, and keeping those toes pointing up to the ceiling. Keep that length in your back as you're hugging. Stay here for 3 breaths, and at the end of your 3rd breath, you're going to allow your body to naturally fold over and relax your head over that leg. This is a place where your back doesn't need to be straightened or in alignment. And notice the more contact that you have with your body, how this feels for you. Focus on what areas you're holding with your hands. Can you feel every finger as you hold onto your arm? Allow your body to relax in this embrace. And do one more breath. And on the exhale, you're coming back up to a straight back. Bring that foot back out. Just allowing our toes and our legs to wiggle in and out quickly. Just relax the legs. We're going to take a pause by putting our hands just behind our body. Our fingers are facing forward towards our toes. And we're going to push the weight onto the heels and the feet, allowing ourselves to form a nice straight line. It's completely okay if you're not fully there. You may need to adjust by walking your feet forward slightly. Your head is going to be in line with your neck, so you're looking slightly up to the ceiling, but not fully above you. If you're wanting to reduce this stretch, you can plant both feet on the floor and reduce the height of your hips. If you're wanting to increase from this position, you can lift the hips up further, tilt the head back slightly so you're looking directly above you. Coming back to that straightened position, relaxing back again into our staff. Staying here for a few breaths. Feeling the length again in our spine, in our neck, that beam of energy coming out the top of our head. You're going to bring that left foot up now with the left foot planted. Both toes are still pointing forward. Your right toes are pointed up to the ceiling. You can take that left arm in front of your left knee, and on an exhale, move forward. Noticing the contact that your arms having with your foot, your feet and your legs are having with the floor. Notice if you feel more or less tension than on the other leg. A good way to make sure that you're leaning straight forward is to see if your arms are off or not. If they're in line, you're straight. If one hand is racing ahead of the other, that's where your twist is. And your aim is to either pull back the lead runner or allow the person in second place to come into joint first. Keeping a nice length in the neck and the back. And again, noticing that area of no touch between the hands, potentially between the feet as well. What does this area make you want to do? Breathing out, coming up. Bringing that left hand now onto the outer of the knee. And then exhale, you're leaning forward again. Again, noticing if there's a restriction or more access. Finding that length in the back of the neck, those shoulders are still reaching down, they're not creeping away up to our ears. Our hands are racing evenly. Staying with our breath. Noticing if we want to touch more or less. Being aware of the contact of our arm with our leg. And stay here for 2 more breaths. And then we'll exhale, you're going to come back up. Lift that left leg over the right. If you're wanting to decrease the stretch, you bring it further to the feet. Increasing it, you're bringing it further to you. And you're going to start by hugging that leg in front of you, but keeping that length in the back and the neck, keeping that beam of energy moving from the sky above you to the earth below you. Consciously aware of the new placement of our foot on the earth, the mat or the ground beneath us. We're noticing where our arms and our legs are touching and the pressure applied here. And take 2 more deep breaths, and on your final exhale, you're going to allow the body to relax forward. Notice where your head rests in this hugging position. needing to change or judge anything. Can you feel every one of your fingertips? Are they all at even pressure? Or some holding harder than others? Allow a few more breaths here. And then your next exhale, straighten the spine and coming back to that staff pose. We're going to go back into our rest place again by bringing the fingers facing forward, hands slightly behind our body, using the weight in our heels and in our hands to lift our body up. Knowing if we want to reduce the stretch, we can bend those legs in and lower the hips, or we can lift the hips and raise our head to the ceiling. Noticing how these all feel different in the body and working with what feels right for us right now. Stay with your breath in this position. We'll stay here for 2 more breaths before coming back down into staff on that exhale. When we're back in the staff position, we're going to bring our feet slightly towards us so that our feet can just touch the floor. And exhale, we're going to allow our head to fall in between our knees. Noticing how we're holding our body and how our body is holding us. Breathing out, we're going to bring those hands back up our legs, come into an upright position. And we're going to use our hands and an inhale to come up, and our hands come down, and an exhale to come down. Timing this with our own breath, but keeping a contact with our legs and our hands. Playing with our eyes open and closed. Playing with a straight back coming up and down. And playing with curving, allowing the body to roll up like we did from coming out of ragdoll. And allowing the body to curl down. Noting how this may change how we breathe, whether we breathe deeper or shallower. Not judging, but being aware of our body in this moment. And on your final exhale, you're going to relax again, allowing the head to relax between the legs. And exhale, we're going to roll up. And allow our body to lie down in Savasana. Meaning that our feet are allowed to fall out naturally. Our chin is slightly tucked in. Our palms are facing the ceiling and our hands are by our hips. Our shoulders are still pulling down as if our hands are trying to reach towards our feet. We take some nice deep breaths, feeling the contact and the body restoring itself. You may notice some tension in some certain areas, but with your breath, relax into these as the floor and the earth will support you. You may need to adjust, either by stretching out the legs, giving a little wiggle. Allow your body to relax and restore. Feeling the connection with your vertebrae, the top of your head, to the tips of your toes. Imagining how our skeleton lays out and how everything is connected. Feeling the connection we constantly have to ourselves. Notice how by breathing, different areas may rise and fall. It may have a butterfly effect. Stay with this for a few breaths. See if you can notice how different areas are affected. Maybe start close to the core and work your way out to the fingers and the toes. Not judging ourselves if we do not get here today, but knowing it is the start of a practice and something that will get improved and easier with time. As we're breathing in and out, we're noticing how areas in our body are also affected by this, how they may rise and fall. And if you can feel this in your arms, in your upper arm, maybe your lower arm, maybe even your hands. How do you notice these in your legs? Maybe your upper leg, your lower leg, maybe even the feet. Knowing that this practice is not about judging ourselves, but feeling the connectedness of our body and the support from the ground and the air above us. Stay here for 2 more breaths. And on your final breath, you can open your eyes, returning to the room, and taking your own time to sit up. Thank you so much for joining again in today's practice. Hopefully we started understanding the touch that we have with ourselves. And I hope to see you tomorrow.